What up, sweet gang? It's your girl Rochelle in the building, coming to give you life with another great video. In this live with Rose session, I am going to show you how to create the ponytail baby. And we're going to be using chocolate merkins, chocolate candy melts, Rice Krispies, and a few other items that I already have prepped here before you. But before we get into all the supplies, welcome to all my subbies and thank you for joining me on this evening. All right. For those that will be rewatching this video, this is a live recorded session. Actual time live video, yes, recorded. And for those that are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below this video, letting me know how you enjoyed this video and any other video that you have viewed on my channel. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and let's go. So before you, the supplies I'm going to be using, this is salted caramel chocolate melts by Merkins. This is about a full bag of candy melts. It's a chocolate candy melt. That means it's chocolate coated, not pure chocolate. It's 16 ounces. And I have my apple, which the wax is still on, so I'm going to show you how to dip chocolate candy melts with the wax on, but it's clean. I have Rice Krispie, my bowl mold, and all the supplies I will leave in the description box below. Okay, my heart cutter, some pink fondant. I have a piping tip with the circle end, my scraper, my rolling pin, a sculpting tool, a couple of toothpicks, and some longer toothpicks, my whipping spatula, and my extra bowl that I'm going to put my chocolate in, piping bag, a couple of parchment paper cutouts, and a small cake board with some prepped items that I'm going to already have ready once I go through this process. All right. So also my gloves. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to melt my chocolate first and get that started. No, before I melt my chocolate, let's go through the pieces that I'm going to use for her hair and how to achieve her ponytails, okay? So we're going to start with the Rice Krispie. You're also going to need some black chocolate candy melts. And to learn how to melt black chocolate, I have a cup already here, which is a mixture of dark chocolate and royal blue candy melts and some black chocolate coloring. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and warm this up for about 15 seconds because it was already melted. Okay, so the same process for melting black chocolate and coloring it. Check out some previous videos that I will leave in my description box. Also, the same process that I'm going to do and explain to you when I melt the salted caramel melts. So I'm going to get this already melted here and ready for me to dip. I only melted it for 15 seconds because I had it pre-melted already and it started to get solid. So I just put it back in for about 15 seconds. This is about 1 cup of chocolate melts that I had in here. Okay. That I'm also going to use for her ponytails, her hair, and all that good stuff. All right, so we got that melted. I'm going to set that up here. Also, we're going to take the Rice Krispie treat. Okay, you're going to take a piece of the Rice Krispie treat. You don't have to do the whole thing. And taking your apple, depending on the size you want to size it up. Okay? You want to make your Rice Krispie ponytails, well, they're going to be balls, in you want to portion it to the size of your apple. You don't want huge ponytails on a small apple. So just go according to the size of your apple. Make a nice shaped ball. And normally I put an indentation in the bottom of the Rice Krispie just to size it up here as I size up my apple here. So I say that's pretty good for me. All right. And you do the second one the same way. If you wanted to do a middle ponytail and just one whole ponytail, make a nice ball, shape it up a little bit. Okay. And just insert a hole right in the center so that it can go over the straw. Okay? And you can just round it off, and that would be her center ponytail if you was doing just one ponytail. But before you add it on, you want to dip it. Okay? So taking your black chocolate, all right, and taking the Rice Krispie ball, and just stick it in there good enough to dip right in. These are going to go in the freezer for a few minutes. All right. And you can place them on a cake board, a little small cake board or whatever board you have that's small enough to go into the freezer. Okay? And you can put it in the freezer just like that. All right? Once you put it in the freezer, it comes out solid, like you see here. Okay? And once you take it out, you just take the toothpick out, and then you're ready to design your baby. All right? So going into the next piece, we have the mold. All right? I like to always have my pieces prepped before I get started on the main project. Okay? Taking some fondant, rolling it. Okay. Place it in this bowl mold. Just press it in there. Taking your scraper, laying it right across. Okay. And slide it right across there. And it'll give you a good bow into your cavity. All right. So once that's done, to get a nice firm bow, you can pop this in the freezer for a few minutes, and it will be an easy way for you to take out your molding piece, or you can flip it over and then pull it out as so. All right. And once you get all of that, then you will have your bows come out so nicely as you see these have. All right. So now let's make the pacifier, which is pretty simple. Okay. When you make your pacifier, you use a smaller heart. This is a small heart cutter. You're just going to roll out you a piece of fondant. Make sure it's kneaded very well. Okay, not too thick, not too small, but thick enough for it to have placement. You just want to press and cut. Remove the extra fondant. Remove the cutter. Make sure your sides and edges are really clean. And if they do have some edges, just take your little scraper or a little tool and just press in your the edge line of your piece. Using a small piping tip with a small hole, and just line up where you want, or position where you want these holes to be. Okay, and that's how you create the little holes for the pacifier. Taking you a small piece of fondant, small piece, to make the little knob right onto the pacifier. Okay, and before I do that, I always cut off just half of the bottom, just taking the scraper or a little pen blade and cut that off. And as I'm shaping up this little small piece, I'm flattening it. You can apply some water to the back of it, just a little bit, and place it right into the center. And whatever extra that you have, you want to roll it in your hand and stretch it out. Okay? Or lay it right on the surface and stretch it back and forth, because you thinning it out when you do it that way. And it'll stretch. Just stretch and pull and just stretch out till it becomes a nice even rope. And I'm just rolling it back and forth. Taking my scraper cutter here and even the side out. Using my sculpting tool just to pick up this piece and just place it on the side. And then cut off whatever extra, and then bring that around like a U. Tap the ends so they're nice and clean. And you have you a pacifier. Okay? So that's how you create the pacifier. Now, if you wanted your pacifier to be gold, you can polish it up, but it has to sit till it's completely dry before you apply it, excuse me, to your apple. Okay? Just pick it up. And you got your little pacifier. Alright. So now let's get to the big part. So now I'm going to melt my candy melts for 30 seconds. Once that's done, you want to take it out and get the mix in it. Just mix up the chocolate moving it around. Move some of that stubborn melts around so you don't have any issues of it burning. Okay, and then put it back in for 20 more seconds. It's best to melt your candy melts in small intervals so that you don't overheat your chocolate when it comes to chocolate candy melts. Okay. Um, when it comes to dipping your apple and wanting a smooth finish, it's important that you melt in small intervals so you don't get any elephant skin. Overheating your chocolate will cause that, so you want to be careful when melting. Okay? Now, before I put this back in here, I am going to add some Paramount crystals. Paramount crystals is just simply oil, like an oil-based crystal. These crystals help with melting when you have stubborn candy melt. Okay, it's just a fully hydrated kernel oil with some soy that's broke down, just like shortening. So if you have shortening, that's fine. Depending on how much you are melting. So like this is like a 16-ounce bag. So I would do like 1 to 2 tablespoons of shortening or Paramount crystals. And then you just pop it back in the microwave. And I'm going to melt for about 15 seconds. It's just a process of melting either colored candy melts or colored or stubborn chocolate. Okay? Don't keep throwing it in there for 30 seconds thinking that I'm going to just melt the whole thing, because you're putting your candy melts at risk of overheating. Okay, just mix and mix. Still some chunks that you see in there, that's the Paramount crystals, which I'm going to put back in the microwave for about 10 seconds. As long as they're in small intervals, whether it's 10 or 15 seconds. But it helps when you utilize the heat from your glass container and the chocolate that's already melted in here, and just work it around to get some of those stubborn melts to melt down. Alright, so because I got some Paramount crystals still in here, I'm put this back in for about 10 seconds until it's completely smooth. Okay. Mix that in there well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer in my bowl The reason why I transfer in a bowl, because it gives me room to work with my apples. It's just something I do. Um, and you know, those that dip apples, do what works for you in the comfort of your home, where however is comfortable for you. You know, some use a melting pot. That's fine. But when you have something and it's working, roll with it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is let this cool down a little bit before I dip my apple. Normally, I take my spatula or spoon, and from my looking at my spatula, if you can see, it's some elephant skin there. All right? So if I dip, I know I'm going to have some elephant skin if I dip too early, because it needs to come down in temperature before I dip. Okay? So while I wait, it's just a few minutes. I'll open the floor for Q&A, and then we go right into putting together our piece. Okay, I'll take about 5 questions, and then I'm going to go right into back to the black, so that I can put that in the piping bag. All right, so I'm going to take about 5 questions. First question, what happens if you dip... I'm trying to see this question. I can't see it. Oh, what happens if you dip too early? You will get elephant skin. You'll get elephant skin if you dip too early, if it's too hot. You just need to let it sit and cool for a few minutes. Not like 10 or 15 minutes or anything like that. It just needs to come down in temperature. Okay? And that's just like why I like to transfer into this bowl. Like I said, some people use melting pots. But you do what works for you. If the technique and method is good for you and you're getting a good result from your apples, then roll with it. There's so many different ways. So many people dip their apples and comfortable with what they're doing. All right. Let's see. Next question. Next question. Someone asked about Paramount crystals. Do I put anything in my chocolate? It depends. How well I melt it. It depends what I'm dipping at that time. If I'm dipping apples, I am definitely, it depends on the color. Colored candy melts. Is sensitive to heating. If you're melting in microwave or if you do a double boil. Normally, if you have stubborn chocolate, I use either Paramount crystals, okay, which they look like little snowflakes. They're just white crystals, or shortening. Some people use oil, and I'm going to tell you the difference with shortening and vegetable oil, okay? Vegetable oil is just what it is. It's oil. It stays oily. Shortening sets. Shortening, vegetable shortening, you can melt it, and once it sits for a while, it settles into a white substance, just like Paramount crystals. If you melt this, it's going to set into this white substance and be brittle if you break it up. And it works better that way, because if you dip in vegetable oil, it takes longer for either your strawberries, Oreos, whatever it is you're thinning out before you get ready to dip. It takes a longer process for it to dry. Okay? So remember that. That's an important tip about vegetable shortening and vegetable oil. Vegetable shortening sets back into its white substance. Vegetable oil stays just what it is, oil. So when you dip a strawberry or apple in vegetable oil, it is going to be oily and it's going to take time for it to dry. Where you want it to, set properly and set, rather quickly. The same for coconut oil. If you notice, coconut oil is a substance that is a white substance. Once it's melted, it becomes an oil. Then once you melt it, it becomes back into that setting. It goes back into its setting white substance. All right. All right. Let me see. That was 2. 3 more questions. Okay, I answered coconut oil. I always tell people to be careful with coconut oil because some people are allergic. So I always use either Paramount crystals or vegetable shortening. But my preference is Paramount crystals. Yes, you can buy Paramount crystals at your local bakery store, or you can order them on Amazon or offline. Everything that I use, I will leave a link in the description box up under my video. Put my gloves. All right, so moving right along. So I'm going to go ahead and dip. I think we got some trolls in here. Okay, taking your apple, going right in. This is a fairly large apple. And I want to cover my top. And as you see how I'm sitting the apple in there, you can. Now, if you do it this way, make sure you move swiftly so that your chocolate don't settle. Okay, if your chocolate begins to settle and you got your apple still sitting in the middle, you're going to have lumps and clumps in there. So I do that so I won't have to have chocolate all up on my apple. Roll, scrape the bottom and sit it to position and dry. All right. I'm going to move that right over there. Now with my piping bag already in here, I'm going to just melt this chocolate for about 10 seconds so I can have it already in the piping bag. I just find it better to apply the chocolate to the apple in a piping bag so you can have more control. Have just a little bit more control. For your particular projects, okay? Especially with the hair. I'm just going to put this in here. And just tie off my bag. All right. So it is a process, as you see, in actual time. It's not a edited video. It takes time for these particular projects, especially when you have a lot of them. Lot to do. Um, these are considered to be custom-made apples. And these custom-made apples can run between $10 to $12, depending on your area. And you have to keep in mind, this is a lot of work. And it calls for a lot of patience. Okay? And preparation is key. All right, so while I'm letting the apple dry, I'm going to go ahead and go back to some questions here. Thank you all for joining. If you're just recently joining, thank you for joining. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. All right. So my hole that I'm going to cut on my bag is just going to be a normal cut here. And just to give me more control when I get ready to do the hair. Let your apple be completely dry before you add it to the other chocolate. All right. All right. I'm giving, and it's going to be some movement here because I see something that I want to block. All right. Hand time out. I don't know who trying to remember what video. All right, so it's going to be some movement because I took my camera off the mount. So please excuse the shakiness and the focusing. All right. Yeah, because if my phone is on a mount, I can't see. You know, I'm barely seeing the questions. But thank you all. That's the thing about doing live videos. So, but I'll be going back to my regular videos soon. So, I hope you all have enjoyed Live with Ro. If you want to see me do more Live with Ro, let's get this video to 300 likes. I have something else in store for you. I want to do the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star apple. So if you want to see that apple tomorrow, make sure you give this video 300 likes. Let's get it to 300 likes. I know you all can do it. All right. And while this completely dries, it's not nowhere there yet. Let's go into some questions. All right. How many of y'all enjoying this channel in this Live with Ro? Thank you. Do you come to Orlando, Florida to teach? I sure do. This year, I travel all over the world. Okay. This year, I won't be coming to Orlando to teach, but I am coming to Miami, Florida. I know a lot of people. Also, I got 2 people that has been asking about online classes and having a more personal relationship with my teaching and helping them along the way. I just want to let you know, starting tomorrow, I'm going to announce it tomorrow as well, where I'm going to do a Thankful Tuesday. And Thankful Tuesday will be all my online videos will go on sale for $10. All right. And it's called Thankful Tuesday. But don't register through my website. You have to register on my business page, which is Your Sweet Connection. You have to go to vape. You have to make sure you follow the page and inbox that page, and my assistant will assist you with registering. This is a one day only, 24 hours. Okay? So, starting at midnight tonight, all my online classes, and I have a lot of them, from business, for especially for business. All right? If you want it, I got it. Now, the business is something dear to my heart, and I have helped so many people. So, Thankful Tuesday, tomorrow, starting midnight tonight, all my online classes will go on sale for $10. There's a candy apple class, there's a chocolate factory class, there's a workshop for Valentine's, there's popcorn. The Hennessy popcorn class has like 5 to 6 different videos that I have done on how to do liquor popcorn, candy popcorn, so on, so on, so on. So, if you want to partake on that, is your chance. I will announce it tomorrow, but for those that know and watch this video, I know if they watch the video up until this point, that they're going to get in on the $10 special. It will be posted on my page. So just inbox and inquire about Thankful Tuesday, and we will send you the information on how to register and all the terms and conditions from there. All right? So I want to make sure this is completely dry. Thankful Tuesday. You got to say Thankful Tuesday is the discount code. Thankful Tuesday. Not the special. Thankful Tuesday. All right? And I'm in the process of doing my cookie decorating class, so y'all will get that as well. So my online classes is just a more up and personal relationship on teaching, and this will be my last year with creating any more online classes, because I will be strictly doing YouTube. All right? All right, so a lot of my classes is like for support, and I'm just looking to move on to more and different projects. All right, so I done talked y'all to death, waiting for this to dry. All right, so the chocolate is sitting here waiting. I don't want to mess up the apple. It's dry. Now here's the concentrating part. All right, once these are dry, once these are dry, kind of shape them up a little bit. Don't matter if they crack, because you're going to cover them with chocolate. All right? So you're going to take a little bit of the chocolate here, place it on the bottom, and position your ball. But before you do that, you want to coat your hair, cover the apple with your hair, and you want to create a hairline. Okay, so I'm going to create a hairline, just going up here, going here, all right. So I just created a hairline. So taking chocolate, and you can go in sections. Taking a toothpick and just swirl around the hair. You're going to add more. Don't worry. And bring that down. And you can bring it all the way down if you like. Sorry, so y'all can see. I'm right-handed. Okay. So you can spike it up, which I'm going to do once I finish covering it. All right. So a lot of people ask me, Ro, how did you get the bangs? And that's what I'm getting ready to show you. Okay. See how I'm just spiking it up? Okay. As it begins to get drier, you just want to, it begins to get drier. Just start spiking it. Okay. All right. So then you're going to come back around, adding more to your hairline. Because you want to, which you can do it before. You want to then make those nice little baby hairs. Take your toothpick and just start pulling it. Okay, make sure you got enough. And just start pulling it. Just like that. Okay. If you want to make swirls, add a little bit more chocolate. If you want to make the little swirls, and you got to pull. Excuse me. To create your little swirls. Okay. And keep swirling it. Swirl, swirl. Okay. Swirl, swirl. However much you want to bring down off the hairline. It's totally up to you. And as it begins to dry, spike it up. Okay. Now the back, you're going to take and get as much around there and just swivel it around. To coat the whole apple. And go all the way around that hairline till it's completely covered. Okay, if you got little open areas, you can always go back with some more chocolate and cover it up. All right. Now just take you a little bit of chocolate. Position your ponytail. Just a little bit because you already got chocolate on there. One ponytail bigger than another. So the ponytail is on there, right? Let it dry. Then take some chocolate and go around the edges first and just build it up from there. Build up around here. Around here. And then start adding chocolate to the ponytail. All right. And completely cover the ponytail and just spike the ponytail. Make sure that chocolate don't look like a puddle. Even it out around the base of it. See there? Make sure it don't look like a puddle. Make sure it goes within that. But before you get to flipping it, make sure it's completely steady on to your apple. That's why I keep sitting it down, because I don't want to knock my ponytails off. Okay? And see how the bag works, where you have total control. And don't worry about it drying up too fast. Just apply more chocolate. And when you see it starting to dry up, begin to spike it. And you spike it just by tapping it. Tap, 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 tap. And just keep doing this until you have it like you want it. Remember, when it's dry, that's when you want to get right on and show you the back so you know. All right. Then once you have that done, fires with the eyes, with my toothpick, I need a little bit more so I can have a little control to make the eyes and the lashes. Get enough on the toothpick, put a little dot and wing it, and then pour down. Same with the other side. A little dot and wing it. And pour down for the lash. I'll mess that lash up. Okay. And then start applying your pieces on there and put a little chocolate here. Pacifier. I pulled her hair all the way up. All right. Then you can put the little bobos. Applying a little bit of chocolate on the back. Just a little bit. And place her bows right up under her ponytail. Easy peasy. There you have it. Live we roll. Live we roll with the Ponytail Baby. Live we roll. That food done got back in again. But that's just it. Just like that. Something going on. I'm gonna move my camera. Sorry, you guys. I don't know where it is. All right. How do this person keep getting in here? I don't even know what I'm doing. Hey, y'all. This is another reason why I don't like to go live. I know, right? I gotta do all of this. video be shaking. I just don't like that. I just like my videos to be professional. And all right, you all. I hope you all enjoyed it. But that's the ponytail baby. Just like that. I gave her a bunch of baby hair. But that's all to it. All right. If you have enjoyed this video, I know it's a long video, but this is an actual time video, and this is the process of putting together projects like this, even though some things were a little prepped, but it does take time. And I thank you all for joining me. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on. And if you want to see the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star Apple tomorrow, let's get this video to 300 likes. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment, y'all. Let me know how you enjoying this video. And you already know it's your girl Ro about to go. And don't forget, before I go, to join my online classes. Take the opportunity and get that $10 special each. Not for all. $10 each video. Hope you all enjoyed. Once again, it's your girl Ro about to go.